The home of Stade Francais is the setting for Wales's next match in the Women's Rugby World Cup. Wales face defending champions New Zealand in the playoffs, which will determine who plays in Sunday's match at the same venue for 5th and 6th place. Wales have made 2 changes, with Jenny Davis starting at prop and Philippa Tatiat returning to the wing.
The changes we've made have been purely on the back of looking at the All Blacks and how they play and the strategy going into it with our game plan, that the 2 changes we've got are going to implement that and give us a bit more maybe strength in the combinations on the pitch.
It must be refreshing from your point of view. Now you really do have strength and depth, and you can change and mix and match the team to suit whatever purpose you want.
Certainly, and it's the first time since I've been here that we've had those sort of conversations where it's not a case of having the 15 best players on the pitch irrespective of numbers, and we're having some really healthy debates in selection that we've got to get the combinations right, and something now that we can get to implement the game plan. And we're looking at the front row in particular. We've got 6 players who really are international quality players, and they bring a different aspect to each combination that we can implement, and it's the same across the board with the back row and back 3 and even the half backs now. Sian and Amy are really pushing each other, and I've got a different sort of approach, so we can sort of implement the best option there.
So looking ahead to New Zealand, they may not be the force they were, say, 4 years ago, but they're still a pretty impressive outfit, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. We watched the first 3 games, and 1 loss doesn't make you a bad team, and they only lost by 3 points. So they're certainly going to be one of the strongest contenders for this 5th to 8th position, and it's something that we've got to be wary of. And I think they've scored the most tries in the competition up until now, and the most points. So they really are going to be an attacking force. It's important that we implement our game plan as quickly as possible and stop them playing. And I think our defence now has come on in the last 3 games where we're very confident that can stop teams playing and get the possession back to us.
What sort of things can you take out from Ireland's performance against New Zealand going into the game against the All Blacks?
I think a bit of belief, to be honest. I was quite fortunate to speak to the Ireland coaches before the game, and they said there's a real belief in the camp that they could take the game to New Zealand and stop them playing, and we saw the result of that. And we're quite fortunate that we play against Ireland quite a few times, and we know that we're in a position that if a couple of things have gone our favour, we'd have beaten them as well. So we like to consider ourselves in the same sort of vein, that if we get that bit of belief, which we hopefully have got from South Africa, that we can go and take the game back to New Zealand and beat them.
You set yourself the target before the tournament to finish above what you did last time, which was 9th. You're already in the top 8. How important would it be to you and as a group to make that 5th and 6th playoff?
Oh, huge. We looked at it, and our initial goals was to get out with the group into the sort of top 8. We knew that if we'd get 2 wins, we'd put ourselves in contention for maybe a top 4 position. But as you've seen, as the pools have sort of panned out and how close the games have been, we've achieved our sort of first objective, as to get to top 8. Now it's a sort of new tournament with a different approach with 5th to 8th, that we've reassessed it, and we really challenge ourselves to get into that top 5th and 6th pool game.
Finally, do the girls believe they can beat the All Blacks?
Well, I'd like to think so. It's something we've talked about, and we've talked about performance and how important it is to be consistent and sort of do your job is probably the simple message. And I really thought that the sort of penny dropped in that last game, that people actually didn't worry about anything else apart from their role and how important that role is in the sort of team, in the team units and the result. And we saw that, and that ultimately gave us the result. And from that, now we really can use the word belief in the right context, that we've got that because you've showed you can do it. It's important now that we keep that same sort of focus into the next game, and like I said, get that game plan as quickly as possible, and everyone sort of do their job as best as they can.
Okay, Rhys, all the best.
Thank you.